Before I even asked them, said, oh, you're going to hit the video. And then they were like, oh, there's an audio button. It can record what I say.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Robin Franklin. She is teaching a second and third grade combo class here at Glenwood Elementary. They are the Fireflies.
That's right.
And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. As I understand it, you have been kind of slowly introducing the Chromebook to your students in this one-to-one environment. And I just kind of wanted to hear your story about how that's been going and how you've rolled that out.
So I started at the very beginning, just having them practice logging in and using their passwords. And then I practiced from there, having them open an email from me. So that was the first day. I wrote them all an email and they had to respond to me. And I think that's all we did the first day. And then the next day they learned how to compose an email, and we learned how to do the Google Hangout with that, and they invited each other, and that was really fun and playful, and they loved it. And then we worked on that very first day, we worked on things like, what number is your laptop? How do you carry the laptop? How do you put your water bottle on the floor while you're using the laptop? All of those sort of guidelines, and then helping make sure that they can be really independent with that process so that they can get their laptop, log into the laptop, and put it away and all of those things without needing a teacher help. And then the next thing I did was I gave an assignment in Google Classroom, and it was just a very simple assignment where I had Google Classroom generate a copy for each student of where they just typed in a questions they had about the sun, which is something we had started to talk about the day before, and they had been handwriting, and then they turned it into me. And that was pretty much as far as I got the first week. And then that week I was curious about how you gave kids feedback, so that's when I reached out to you to ask about how to return to them. And so then I watched the video about how to return their work to them and how to change the grading scale and how to give them feedback. And so I gave I made it ungraded, but then gave each kid a comment back on their work. And then the next morning when they came in on Monday, they had to reply to my comment. So I learned how to kind of navigate that. And then for a few of them, they needed to resubmit their work because it really wasn't up to snuff. And so they needed to resubmit it. So I learned how to do that. And then the next week, I think I learned how to make an assignment and attach a video that they could watch on their own, and then open a document and complete sort of a table. It was a mathematics assignment then that they could turn back into me. And then I think the next thing I tried was scheduling the assignments. So on Sunday, I planned out the assignments for the week, and then I had them just appear in their stream on each day, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
Learning how to do that. So I feel like for me, it's just having a goal of trying something new each week for myself and then for the kids. And it's really neat because then sort of some things have come up where they spontaneously wanted to type it up on their computer or Google Doc, and the kids said, oh, you have to make a template for us. And so I realized in some situations it's good for them to have sort of those skills of opening a Google Doc on their own and creating their own, and in some it's better to have me create a template and send that through Google Classroom. So I've kind of been playing around with both of those, and now I feel like all of my kids can do both. They can open a doc on their own and create something. If it's sort of an optional, you can handwrite it, you can type this if you feel like it. And then I also have been continuing to use the Google Classroom and give assignments and have them turn in assignments through that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just we have so much else going on, and we have assessments, and there's so many other responsibilities we have. And so I just try to set a little small goal for myself each week to move forward a little bit with my own skills and with the kids.
Yeah, and so you're kind of learning it together a little bit, it sounds like. Yeah,
absolutely. And then they start to realize how they can use it. And this week in math, one of my goals was for them to learn how to, within a Google Doc, to create and insert a table and make a table for themselves to collect data.
Yeah.
So, they all opened a Google Doc, they all learned how to insert a table, they all learned how to make the rows and columns and how to make a title, how to make labels, bold the labels, add rows, take away rows, enter the data. So just a little bit each week for them to get better at it. And they help each other really well. And they just start to sort of see it as a tool. So it pushes you to see it as a tool, because they're like, can't we just use our laptops for this? And I'm like, yes, you can use your laptops for that, Yeah. So, and I've noticed little things like, we don't sharpen the pencils as much. Isn't that interesting? Because we're writing more here, or there's less paperwork to file because they're turning things in through Google Docs, and it's that way. So I just think, mentally you just start to make those shifts, and then you realize what's helpful about it.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you want to add about it, or what you've been doing? Or?
I think the only other thing that I think is really important is to model for the kids that when you get stuck with technology, that you don't always have to ask for help, that you can try something yourself. So like that, what can I try, what can I use that I already know about this to try to solve the problem myself? Because I think that for some kids, if they build that habit of sort of every time you don't know something, your hand goes up or you ask someone near you, instead of trying something on their own first, that they will not be as successful. So I think just trying to really talk to them about, what did you try? What did you, did you, and even watching some of the ones who are like, in a second, their hand is going to be up. If you see them try one thing, be like, oh yeah, I saw you try something. You tried something. So and just talk about that with them too. Yeah. That's the only other thing. I think it's that sort of a habit that some of them get into, is just, if you get stuck, immediately ask for help instead of trying something. So that's the only other thing I talk to them about.
Great. Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.